My name is Utley, photographer. I've done a lot of different types of photos, families, weddings, engagements, portraits. I love what I do. If I was to take you through a journey of my lens, usually the first question I ask is, how do I want this story to be told? If it's a happy picture, I make sure there's a lot of colors, there's a lot of light. If it's kind of a melancholy or a sad photo, or a photo that suggests that we really kind of add emotion to it, I make sure that I control the light by making sure that specific kinds of things aren't seen. And there's a difference between emotional photo versus it being a happy-go-lucky photo where everyone's smiling. I have different examples here where I can show you. This would be a really dramatic photo. There's not a lot of light. She's looking away, she's looking down. And I want to make sure I control the light. I want to make sure that the light is hitting her face, it's even, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, but this side is dark. And we don't know what she's looking at. We don't know what she's kind of shielding herself from. But we know that it's an emotional photo. It's not like a happy-go-lucky photo. When I go through the process in my mind of how I want the story to be told, I try to do the process of elimination. Is this something that's just for Facebook? Is this something just for social media? Or is this something that you can put in your living room and have displayed for centuries? And once I go through that process in my head, I'm able to give my client exactly what they need and what they want to be able to, what they're hiring me ultimately for. I think that what sets me apart as a photographer is the fact that I have my own style. Once you start to evolve and immerse yourself in your craft, you're going to develop a specific kind of style. And I think my style is a lot more fun, a lot more off the cuff. People just laughing, people smiling, and it being sincere. A lot of the times, most photographers that I've noticed don't want to, they don't want to mess up in the sense of, okay, well, let's do what's safe. And a lot of times I like to take chances. I like to have someone laughing, or someone who's giving an ugly laugh, not just like a ha 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 pretty. You see them, you see all the teeth, all the fillings in their mouth, and it's beautiful because that's what you are bringing me on board to be able to pay for. I've seen too many people who play it safe for the sake of making their money versus really getting in and being able to tell the story the right way. I think that my style is carefree. I think that my style is fun. I think you'll see a lot of photos where people are not afraid to be themselves, and you can see that in evidence of the photo. The one moment in time I was able to capture correctly, where they were laughing correctly and my finger pushed the button to be able to expose what I was seeing at that moment, sets me apart. Not saying that I'm better, not saying that I'm worse. I'm able to give the client what they need, how they need it, in the way that they need it, or they wouldn't have hired me. And that's just what it is. I think I found my niche once people started booking me for a specific kind of photography. When they were saying, you know, you just have this way with these kids, or, you know, you make the brides look so beautiful, or, you know, I just love the way our family is able to have fun. And the sad thing is, a lot of the times when people book me for family photos, I'm noticing a lot that for the first maybe 20 minutes, when I'm saying, okay, sit next to your brother and hug him, it's kind of like they don't do that on a regular everyday basis. So when they're hugging each other, it's kind of like uncomfortable because that's something that they don't do. But after the photo shoot, there's so much love between the family. When I say goodbye, it's almost as if like they hired me to be able to hug each other. And it's so amazing to me because it's just like, wow. So kind of in a sense, I'm a counselor, a best friend, a brother, a father figure, an uncle, but I'm paid as a photographer to be able to get you guys what you needed in that moment. It wasn't necessarily that you needed photos. You needed love in that moment. You needed to be able to touch each other. They say every day a person's supposed to get 4 hugs to feel love. So, I mean, if in that session I was able to give you guys those 4 hugs and then some to last a week, hey, I did my job. So then in those moments you see people really laughing, it's really sincere and honest because maybe that's something you guys haven't been able to do in a while. And that's when I started to find my niche with people, is that sometimes I was booked not only to take pictures, but to be a friend and to be able to say, no, you look beautiful. No, and I'm not lying. I mean, everyone's beautiful. Everyone has something beautiful about them. It might not be what social media says is gorgeous, or will give you the hashtag of a Woman Crush Wednesday, but it's still beautiful in the sense of God made you different. God made you unique from another individual. So it's just from there, I like to be able to use that starting point as far as you being unique, and then create how I see you beautiful in this specific direction that I'm shooting you right now, for you to be able to say, oh wow, I never saw myself in that light before. And that's what makes me different. That's what sets me apart. And we all have different things about us that might not be seen as quote unquote gorgeous. But whatever can make you unique, I want to be able to capture that so that you can tell your story correctly, so that people say, you know what? That's how I see them. And that photographer was able to see how I see them in a beautiful light. I never thought I'd be on this journey. Being a photographer is everything. It's scary. It's fun. It's exciting. It's thrilling. It's nerve-wracking. It's putting everyone's history before yourself and people trusting you with these moments in time that you've taken and are saying, we're trusting you with our family history and we're going to give you 2 weeks to finish it, but in 14 days we want you to be able to tell our story how we see fit for future generations to see. And being a photographer is very selfless. The photographer's never, the only way a photographer can say they were there was their signature at the bottom of the photo, or maybe doing a selfie. But if my eyes are being able to tell everyone else's history but mine, I need to be able to be I have to put myself in a situation where I have to be very subservient and very selfless and say, okay, with this life that God has given me in my blood and bones, and He's able to have me see the way I see things, and able to capture moments with these fingers, and be able to edit images with these hands. My life isn't important. Your life is important. My life is important in telling your story, but my life isn't important in the sense of how my history will be able to be told. So a good friend of mine said, well, you know, at your funeral, you're going to have a whole bunch of pictures of things you took for everyone else, but you're not going to have any pictures of yourself. And when he said that, it was in jest, but it stood with me because I'm spending my life telling everyone else's story but mine. I'm spending my life capturing other people's history, but when it comes to my own history, I didn't exist but to make other people's history excellent and make other people's history beautiful. And one of the things about being a photographer is not only being selfless, but it's a huge responsibility because you have to be so many different things. I don't know how many clients have come to me and said, you know, and everyone has their insecurities, I get that. But people have come to me in private matters and have said, you know, my boyfriend might leave me if I don't take these photos he might want me to see. And I'm just like, well, even if he does leave, that doesn't mean you're going to die, or it doesn't mean you're going to, but I'm paid as a photographer, but I'm a surgeon because I Photoshop fat and everything like this. I, you know, make skin beautiful. I take away pimples. I'm a big brother, meaning I'm an encourager. I'm a family friend. I'm someone who I can meet you, and in a minute later, you're showing me sides of you that no one else in this world has seen. And I'm supposed to capture that so everyone else can see the beautiful side of it, not just the ugly side, but I'm showcasing a side of you that no one else has seen before, even your family and friends. And you're telling me these dark secrets for the sake of me being able to see who you really are and then show what you'd like for people to see later in life. I'm an encourager. I'm a podiatrist. I fix corns, everything like that. I'm an eye doctor. I've fixed, you know, I've taken away glasses. I've done so much, and it's a joy to be able to give to the world. The last thoughts I'd like to leave anybody listening, anybody who's chosen to click and play this interview is, you're going to be known for something. You're going to be known for something, and you will suck at something in life. You will be terrible at something in life, but you can't be afraid to fail.